Thank you. Good afternoon. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Innu, and Dakota peoples, and in the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. My name is Ian Mann, and I'm joined on the panel today with Mr. Jerry Arnell and Mr. Patrick Rickson. The assessment department personnel is Mr. Michael Santos, and the administrative personnel is Mr. Zachary Mohan. To the Zoom participants of the hearing, please note that you are placed in the waiting room until your property is called upon. When it is your turn, you will be admitted into the meeting. Kindly follow along on the City of Winnipeg's Board of Revision YouTube channel for the hearing process. Once the host admits you into the hearing, please close or mute your YouTube player. You will then be permitted to speak with respect to your property. Once your hearing has concluded, you can leave the meeting. We will be hearing applications for revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and the City Administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all of the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all of the applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decision. You will receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. Today we will be hearing items 1, 9 through 12 inclusive, 14 and 15 on our docket today. Mr. Mohan, will you please affirm the assessors and the applicant's testimony?
Of course, Mr. Chair. Okay, Mr. Assessor, can I please have you stand?
Yes.
Please state your full name.
Michael Santos.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may be seated. And Mr. Chair, with that, with respect to item 1, we have no applicant present.
Okay, with respect to item 1, we'll stand that down till the end in case the applicant does make an appearance later. So we'll move to item 2 on the docket, and we will affirm the applicants as their hearings come up so that they're not all sworn in at the same time. So the second matter, number 9 on the list, which is the second matter, is street address of 746 Victor.
Yes, sir.
You're here on that, sir?
Yes.
Would you please step forward and be affirmed by Mr. Mullen?
Okay, thank you. Mr. Applicant, please state your full name.
Hey, you cut.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may be seated. Oh, sorry. No, just at the table here.
Thank you, Mr. Santos. This is the revision hearing with respect to the street address of 746 Victor. Can you please introduce the property and provide your evidence? The assessed value of $247,000 is the issue, the amount of the assessed value, as I understand it in this case.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Subject roll number is 130-408-16000. It is a 2.5-story multi-family conversion located in the Daniel McIntyre neighborhood, built in 1905. It has a living area of 1,931 square feet with a full/part area basement that's currently unfinished. It has 2 full bathrooms, no half baths or showers, no central AC, fireplace, garage, in-ground pool, or sunroom. It has a lot size of 3,090 square feet with a backlane influence and community/recreational building influence. Currently assessed, as the Mr. Chair has indicated, $247,000 or $127.91 per square foot. Now, moving to the comparables, all are located in the Daniel McIntyre neighborhood. All are 2.5-story multifamily conversion properties built between 1906 to 1912. Living areas range from 1,627 square feet to 2,175 square feet. Comparables 2 and 3 have a full part area basement similar to the subject, whereas comparables 1 and 4 have a full basement. None of the comparables have a basement finish. The full baths range from 2 to 3, half baths and number of showers 0 to 1. None of the comparables have central AC or fireplace. Comparables 1 and 4 are the only comparables with a garage, which is a single car detached. None of the comparables have an in-ground pool or a sunroom. The lot size range from 2,339 square feet to 4,627 square feet. All comparables have at least a backlane influence, with comparables 3 having an additional commercial adjacent influence, and comparable 4 having a bus route, commercial adjacent, and heavy traffic influence. The sales date ranged from March 2, 2022 to August 1st of 2024, with a time-adjusted sale price of $220,000 to $230,000. My correction, my apologies. The time-adjusted sale price ranged from $223,700 to $242,900. Or $111.68 per square foot to $143.76 per square foot. And if you turn to page 2, it is a map location of the comparables and the subject. And based on the evidence I have provided, I believe the current assessment is supported. I will disclose that I have spoken to the owner prior to the hearing, and I have requested to inspect the property. But the owner seemed hesitant. As per owner, there were no issues, structural issues or concerns with the property. So I'm assuming that the property is well maintained and assumed to be in good condition. That is all for me. Any questions?
Thank you. Mr. Applicant, have you any questions for Mr. Santos, the assessor? And for procedure-wise, this is a time that you can ask him questions about his presentation. You will get an opportunity after we've all had a chance to ask Mr. Santos questions to make your presentation about what you think your value. So this is your chance to ask Mr. Santos some questions.
I might.
Hi.
A nice meeting you.
Yes.
You spoke a lot over the phone. You mentioned about the comparison. He gave us the 4 comparison he brought up, and then the 2 of the one I submitted to him, but he didn't mention the difference, like the significant upgrade to most of the property here, the lot size. Some of them have separate utilities, single detached garage.
Sir, can I just stop you for a minute? This is your opportunity to ask questions. Instead of giving the evidence,
Okay.
and we'll hear that, but you might want to ask,
I think I'm good.
if you can phrase it as a question, were you aware that these were more upgraded than my house or something like that? Or is that, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's not what if you don't want to ask that, then don't.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
But if you can phrase those statements in the form of a question and have Mr. Santos address them.
Okay, Mr. Santos, have you looked at the sale amount of the property or the comparison property compared to mine, and a lot of difference, the size and a lot of upgrades and the utility separation and everything, the meter separation and everything compared to mine? Have you compared those ones?
Yes, I have. I've looked at each, I verified each property through MLS and understanding the characteristic differences such as the indicated detached garage, lot size, meters, and the level of finish on the property.
Thank you. Mr. Rickson, have you any questions of Mr. Santos?
Yes, I do. You had attempted to inspect the interior of the property, but were denied. Is that clear? Is that what you had said?
Yes and no. Yes, I did ask the applicant, but they were hesitant. And I was just waiting if they were changed their mind. Seems like they
So-
didn't.
So you have not inspected the property at this point then? The subject property as well as the four comparables that you have included are all shown as multifamily conversions. Would you explain that to me?
Yes, the subject is also a multifamily conversion and all other, and the comparables are also multifamily conversion, meaning that there are more than one dwelling unit where
Okay.
the owner can, sorry?
Okay, so how many, so what you're saying is they have more than one residence, so they would have suites.
Yes.
How many suites does the subject property have?
As far as I'm aware, based on our conversation with the owner, two.
And how many, and what is the suite makeup for the comparable sales?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Yes, what is the suite makeup for the comparable sales?
For the comparable sales, they are all 2-unit properties as far as I'm aware.
As far as you're aware.
Yes,
But
based on my
You,
verification.
you don't know that?
Based on the MLS, they were indicated at time of sale to be 2 units each.
Duplex properties? Okay,
Yes.
okay. The subject as well as comparables 2 and 3 have a full part basement. Can you explain what that is?
A
Is it
full part,
it's full or it's part to me?
yes, so a full part area basement in comparison to a full basement, there is a possibility that an addition was done on the property where there is no basement underneath the addition of that property.
Okay. All right, those are my questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Arnell.
No questions, thanks.
My question, Mr. Santos, is with respect to the geographic location of the subject property. I see it's from your map. It's north of Wellington, just west of McGee, or just west of Victor, I guess. Sorry, on the west side of Victor. The closest property geographically is comparable number 1 at 745 Toronto. Which of all of these comparables would you say is the closest in value and type to the subject property? Why is that possible for you to say?
It is hard for me to say, that's why I gave a range of properties, but if I were to put a most comparable, I would say comparable 2 would be the most comparable.
And that is why?
Because of the living area and the finish on the property, the assumed, in comparison to the assumed finish of the subject.
Okay. Thank you very much. I don't have anything further.
Mr. Chair, may I ask another question?
Yes, certainly.
Mr. Santos, your assessment is at 247,000. Is there a reason that you exceeded the time adjusted sale price range for the subject sales? Without knowing what the condition is of any of them, essentially, you mentioned assumed, but you're above the adjusted sale price range. Normally there would be a reason for that. Is that correct?
Yes, but that would be based on our model and how other, I guess, inferior or less inferior comparables would probably result into a higher assessment.
But your model indicates a lower value if I look at the adjusted sale prices. Is that not correct? So your model is exceeding the range.
Yes, I do not have an answer for that currently.
Fair enough. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sir, if you would give us your presentation, please.
Sure, thank you very much. Yeah, I took a time to look at everything. There are a lot of factors I don't want to mention here. sleeping only 3 hours a night because of the area is changing a lot. I don't have to go through all those things. I think the area is changing a lot. Can I hand you a copy, or do you guys have?
I believe if this is the evidence that you
Yeah.
submitted earlier, then we have a copy of it. Thank you. These are the two listings.
So this, sorry, go ahead.
I'm just confirming what you got. That's the two listings for evidence, one at 685 Furby Street and one at 619 Furby Street.
That one, if you have that one, the four Mr. Santos submit to you guys, I printed through my realtor, so I have it printed like this.
What's the street
The
address
one
on
he
that?
has,
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yes.
so I
okay.
print that one.
Okay. No, that's fine. You can refer to it, but
You don't-
no, because we don't have a copy. We don't have a printed copy of that. Yes.
But I have it.
Yes, we've also got all the information here, but
Okay.
you can make your presentation with
All
respect to that.
So there is a significant, I'm requesting a deduction because of, there's a lot of, for missing features compared to what Mr. Santos present and what I have, my properties are a lot of missing features in my house. 745 Toronto Street has full basement, built in 1908. There is 3 years difference, but the assessed lot values 4,627. There's a big difference, almost 1,600 lot value difference. The lot size different, assessed lot size different. Sorry. Mine doesn't have a half bath. This one has one half bath. This one has single detached garage. Mine does not have single detached garage. This one has one shower. Mine does not have one shower. And yet alone, this sold for $220,000 only. And then has a new windows, new doors, new flooring, covered front porch, and new shingles. Mine has new shingles, but does not have any of those I just read. And then 908 Lipton, which is a good area. If I have money, definitely I will move there because there is a big difference between Victor Street and Lipton Street, actually. Living area is 2,175 square feet. Mine is 1931. 3 full bathrooms. Mine has 2 full bathrooms. Full basement. Mine is partially finished. Year built in 1902. Mine 1912. Mine was built in 1905. There's 7 years difference. There are 3 separate hydrometers. We all know how much it costs to separate hydrometer, water meter, and everything. There's a lot of thousands of dollars to do this. And this 908 Lipton Street was sold for $230,000. And there is a third suit opportunity. The realtor was mentioned here. There is a third suit. Actually, mine has only 2. So this has 30 suit here. 593 Victor Street was sold for $221,500. Modified 2 stats. That's what they mentioned on a listing or realtor listing advertisement here. It says modified 2 stats, upgrades to almost everything. Kitchen was upgraded, shingles was upgraded, windows were upgraded, and most drywalls were upgraded, flooring were upgraded, exterior were upgraded, and furnace and insulation was upgraded. That's what it says. I have evidence here. If you want me to hand you, I have everything here.
Yeah, thank you.
611 Maryland Street have a living area of 2,147 square feet. Mine is 1931. Half bath. Mine does not have one half bath. Have a shower. Mine does not have one shower. Have one single detached garage, which will cost roughly $40,000 to build one single detached garage in the western area. And mine does not have one single detached garage and sold for $230,000. 619 Furby Street, the one I submit, have 2 separate meters, 2 high efficiency furnaces, 2 separate electrical panels. Mine has only 1 electrical panel one high efficiency furnace, and 1 meter. And one single detached garage comes with 690 Furby Street. Mine does not have one single detached garage. So we all know how much it costs to separate the utilities, to put high efficiency furnace. Electrical panel is a lot of money to separate, to have 2 electrical panel. And again, to build one single detached garage is a lot of money. 685 Furby Street has 2 hydrometers. Mine only has 1 hydrometer, has full basement and sold for $215,000. I believe my property was over exaggerated. And the number does not, the information I have, the feature, the upgrade with this comparison does not justify the $247,000 assessed value. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Santos, have you questions?
Yes, I do. Now, were you aware that 619 Furby Street and 685 Furby Street are in a different neighborhood than the subject?
Yes.
Now, were you provided any listings in the neighborhood that would be comparable to the subject in the same neighborhood as the properties that you have provided?
Could you repeat?
Yeah, were there any sales, were you provided sales to compare how the neighborhood in the comparables you have provided in comparison to the subject neighborhood? See if they are equal.
Yeah, this is what my realtor found when it comes to multi-family house. So that's what he gave me. This is all he gave. The rest are 4 units, 4-plex, 6-plex, and stuff like that.
Now, regarding 685 Furby Street, are you aware that that is a true duplex property, not a multifamily conversion?
What is the difference?
So a duplex property will have a separate unit, typically top to bottom, with both units having a separate entrance where they're not connected.
Well, I think mine is duplex too. I didn't convert. It's converted a long time ago, but still, there are a lot of properties like mine has different utilities, different hydrometer and utilities and everything.
That is all my question, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Arnell, questions?
So what do you feel a fair assessment would be on your property?
Me?
Yes, you, sir.
To be honest with you, when I look at everything, I think 200 or 210 is fair.
210,000.
The
Yeah, that's all
max.
the questions. That's all the questions I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rickson, have you any questions?
Yes, I do. The assessor had mentioned, brought up the subject of separate entrances. Does your property, do the suites have private entrances?
Yes, sir.
They do, eh? Okay. And your basement is unfinished, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
The ceiling is not covered technically. It's an open ceiling, so it's, I would just call it unfinished. Yes.
Okay, okay. All right, I think that is all my questions, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, I think I just have one question, sir. Do you live there? Do you live at this
I do.
residence, 746 Victor? And who lives there? Who else lives there?
Main floor, I rented.
Okay,
I live upstairs.
okay.
That's it.
And how many people are renting the main floor?
There are only 2-bedroom, newcomers, 3 of them. 2 lives in 1 room, 1 lives by himself.
So 3 people on the first floor and you on the second floor?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And you said newcomers.
Sorry, yeah, well,
It's okay.
that's how they live.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. I don't have anything further. Mr. Santos, have you any summary with respect to this property?
No, I do not, Mr. Chair.
Sir, you have an opportunity to summarize what you've said. We've been paying attention, making notes, of course. But if you have a summary, just to bring it all together, you're welcome to do it now. You don't have to, but you're welcome to.
Sure. Other than that, you can't say anything, right? The situation of the area, you can't say, can you?
Well, what did you want to say about the area?
I mean, moved there from River Park South around 12 years ago. I have to wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning because of the ambulance coming to my street every day.
Mhm.
Police come and knock on my door to look at my camera, technically, physically once a week. There is a lot of going on. I'm not lying. When I'm driving this way right now, there was a guy with 7 gallons of milk next to my house, dumping on himself. Somebody just pepper sprayed him a block away. So people are moving out of the area. If you look at 7-Eleven, Victor Street has been on the market for almost 4 months. Nobody wants to buy for $140,000 or $130,000. You see a lot of working people are moving out of the area, and the value should definitely decrease because of a lot of factors. I know the city is focusing on collecting the tax and everything, but we live there and we experience different lifestyle compared to different neighborhoods. So when a scary number like that comes to my mail and I open 247, I say, can you sell the property for me for 247 so I could move to a better area and sleep good sleep instead of just sending unreasonable prices? I don't think it's absolutely fair to taxpayers. Yes. And there's a lot of factors. The area is not safe. My bike, 2 bikes, we lost 2 bikes. I have police file. They jump over my fence. The bike were tied together from the back. My tenant's bike, actually, they lifted and then they removed. I have a camera. I did police report. 2 weeks ago, my neighbor, 740 Victor Street, 3:24 a.m. I woke up. Somebody removed 4 fences. He pushed and then he broke into their house and he stole a lot of tools. I have to call them. They have to fly back from Vancouver. So I have everything and everything is. And then in front of me, there was a big park, Jacob Penner Park. I think that's the first park in Manitoba or something. Somebody was somebody died like 3 weeks or 1 month ago, and then my neighbor told me somebody's having fun in the park right in front of me. So people are not comfortable to come and rent from me because of what they see. So yeah, the area's changed a lot, and then the property assessment should. This also should factor. The factoral weight also should affect the property what we pay, to be honest with you.
Fair enough. Okay,
Yes, thank you.
thank you, sir. And having heard the evidence now, we will conclude this matter. You'll be getting a registered letter in the near future with the panel's decision.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming today, and thank you for your presentation.
Free to leave,
You're free to leave. Yes.
Michael.
Take care, take care.
Good person. I always talk on the phone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.
The next matter on the list is number 6, is street address 629 Victor.
Can I grab my water?
Oh, yes. Sir, is that the matter on the show here?
Yes.
Yes, if you would come forward and please be affirmed by Mr. Mohan.
Okay. Mr. Applicant, please state your full name.
James Han?
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Yeah, Mr. Santos, 629 street address 629 Victor. I believe the issue is one of the amount of assessed value. If you could introduce the property and provide your evidence, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Subject roll number is 1304-077-5000. Street address is 629 Victor Street, located in Daniel McIntyre neighborhood. It is a 2-story multifamily conversion property built in 1907 with a living area of 1,489 square feet with a full basement that is currently unfinished. It has 2 full bathrooms, no half baths or showers. It has no central air or fireplace. It does have a single car detached garage, no in-ground pool, and a sunroom. It has an assessed lot size of 2,346 square feet with and currently assessed at $262,000 or $175.96 per square foot. The last non-purchase of the property was in April of 2021 for $234,900, and prior to purchase, it was indicated that the property was significantly renovated, which includes the flooring throughout, bathrooms, windows, trims, and furnace. Now moving to the comparables, they are all located in Daniel McIntyre neighborhood. All are two-story multifamily conversion properties built between 1907 to 1913. The living areas range from 1,220 square feet to 1,886 square feet. Comparable 3 is the only comparable with a full basement, while the rest are full park area, with comparable 2 being the only comparable with a basement without a basement finish, while the rest do. The full baths range from 2 to 3, half baths and number of showers 0 to 1. Comparable 4 is the only comparable with central AC. None of the comparables have a fireplace. Comparable 3 is the only comparable with a garage, which is a single car detached. None of the comparables have an in-ground pool or sunroom. The lot size range from 2,345 square feet to 3,285 square feet. Comparable 2 has a school influence, while the rest have no influence. The sales date range from May 29, 2023 to January 27, 2025, with a time-adjusted sale price of $265,800 to $326,500, or $153.87 per square foot to $267.62 per square foot. And if you turn to page 2, again, that is the map and location of the comparables and the subject. And based on the evidence I've just provided, I believe that the current assessed value is supported. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Mr. Hahn, have you any questions of Mr. Santos?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hello, Mr. Santos. So as our subject property does not have a finished basement, whereas your comparable sales 1, 3, 4 have a partial or a finished basement. Would you agree that having a finished basement would command a higher value than properties with unfinished basement in the market?
Yes, but based on the comparable 2 in relation to other comparables, I believe that the current purchase price reflects that.
Thank you. And also my next question is, our subject property has a bigger living area than your comparable number 3. Would you agree that by the economies of scale, that properties with smaller living areas would tend to have a higher price per square footage than those with bigger living areas? Therefore, there should be a downward adjustment to be made to reflect the true market value of the property?
Yes, I do, and upon my review, I did account for that difference.
Thank you. And again, my last question is, I'm looking at your comp number 3, 737 Lytton Street. Would you agree that the effective year built of this property is, I would say, much newer than the subject property? Therefore, their downward adjustment should be made to reflect the differences. Would you agree with that statement?
I do. But given the gap between the two, I believe that, yes, I have accounted for that difference, and I still believe that the current assessment is supported.
Thank you. Those are all my questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Arnell, questions?
Just clarification, did you say that the windows had all been replaced? Did you view this property?
For the subject,
Yes, sorry.
based on the MLS, yes, it was redone.
It was all redone, and yet the effective date's only 1957?
Yes, the effective year can be a bit subjective. It can vary from the type of materials that are used in comparison to the other comparable properties.
Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rickson, questions?
Yes. Again, Mr. Santos, the subject property is a duplex, essentially. It's 2 suites. Your last comparable 4, is quite a bit larger in square footage and has 3 full bathrooms. Would that suggest to you that that might be a triplex?
Based on the MLS, it was indicated to be a triplex. But in
Is that
terms
a
of,
fair comparison then?
based on how the property was configured, I would say it would still be comparable to the subject.
Okay, I know that you're not looking at income, and neither is the applicant. But do you not think that a triplex would achieve a significantly higher rent and resulting in a higher value?
It would depend on the type of suite, like I mentioned earlier, it would depend on the configuration of the comparable or the.
But you don't know that configuration.
As far as I'm aware, it was indicated to be one of them is a batch suite, and then the other two are a 2-bedroom suite. So I'm not sure, but it wasn't disclosed of how much rent was.
Yeah.
How much the rent was.
In your experience, I'm assuming you've been in a lot of these types of properties. It would be very unusual, I think, to see a suite with 2 bathrooms. So I guess the 3rd bathroom would have a self-contained suite, which would suggest to me that it would achieve a higher rent, therefore a higher value to an investor. But okay, those are my questions. Thank you.
Mr. Santos, I just have one question. When Mr. Hahn was asking you about economies of scale and asked if it should be accounted for or would lead to a higher price per square foot, he asked if that difference had been accounted for, and you indicated you did account for that difference. My question is, how did you account for it?
I would say because the difference in square foot between comparables 1, 2, and 4.
Yes.
The finish yes, that would, and then the basement finish. In terms, but again, that could be a little bit subjective on my end.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have. Mr. Hahn, your evidence, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll just quickly go to my brief. If everyone has their brief open, please let me know and I'll go through the brief on page by page.
I'm good.
Okay, good.
So the page 1 of my brief is just a cover page, including the address and roll number of the subject property. And moving on to the next page is the high-level overview of the subject property, including the address, roll number, site area, zoning, etc. Moving on to page 6 would be the images aerial overview of the subject property as well as Google Map image. And on to the next page, which is page 7, is additional photo of the aerial overview as well as the front view of the house subject property. On to the next page 8, it is just a brief description of the subject property. As Mr. Santos has already gone through these details, I will just skip over to my main page, which is page 11 of my brief.
I'm sorry, what was that page?
Oh, page 11, sir.
11? Okay, I'm with you. Good, thank you.
So the page 11 shows the summary of comparable sales that I've come up with, compare and determine the market value of our subject property. So I'll start with the subject property, although it's a repetition of Mr. Santos' presentation. I'll just go through it one more time. Subject property is located on 629 Victor Street. It's in the neighborhood of Daniel McIntyre. It is a 2-story building built in 1907 with a living area of 1,489 square feet. It does not have a finished basement. And I'll just quickly go over the assessed lot size is assessed as 2,346 square feet. And just to note that there was a subject property sale back in 2021. I know it's an old sale, but I've just included just for your reference. And the time adjusted sale price is $238,400 as of April 1st, 2023, which is the last assessment cycle's reference date. I've noted that in red font, just a couple of reasons, and I can go over that as I go through my presentation. So to start with my comparable number one, it is located on the same street as the subject property, which is 7673 Victor Street. Same neighborhood as subject, is a two-story building built in 1905. It's very similar to the subject property. It does have a smaller living area than the subject property, which is 1,119 square feet. And it does not have a finished basement. And moving on to the lot size is almost identical to the subject property's lot size. There was a sale in October 2024 with time adjusted sale price of $156,900, which is equates to $140.21 per square foot. And please note that this is the same property use code as the subject property, which is multifamily conversion. Moving on to my next comparable sale, this is located on 819 Albertstone Street, same neighborhood and same type. It's built in 1912. It has a slightly smaller living area than the subject property, which is 1,293 square feet. It has a finished basement, and the lot size is assessed as 2,874 square feet. There was a sale in 2023 June with a price of $168,000, time adjusted to $180,300, which is $139.44 per square foot. My next comparable is number three, which is 478 Simcoe Street. It's in the same neighborhood as the subject, the same type, and it's built in the same year as the subject property. It is slightly smaller than the subject property, which is 1,291 square feet. It has a finished basement. And the lot size is assessed to be 2,754 square feet. There was a sale in 2023 November, which was $182,450, which is time adjusted to $191,400, which is $148.26 per square foot. My last comparable that I've come up with is located on 804 Simcoe Street, located in the same neighborhood, as well as same type, and built here is the same. But this one is slightly bigger in terms of the living area than subject property. It has a finished basement, and the lot size is bigger than the subject property, which is 3,285 square feet. And there was a sale in December 2023 at $278,000, time adjusted to $290,200, which is $153.87. So as you can see from my comparable sales that I've presented here, the range is from time adjusted $139.44 per square foot to $153.87 per square foot. So my requested value today is $150 per square foot, which is within the range of my comparable sales. And the reason that I've chosen $150 per square foot is because there has to be some adjustments made to reflect the market value of the subject property, because as you can see, three of my comparables, 1, 2, 3, are smaller than the subject property, which means it should be by the economies of scale, it should be reflecting a small lower price per square foot than those with the smaller living areas, as well as comparable number 2, 3, 4 have finished basement, whereas my subject property does not have a finished basement. This should be adjusted downwards to reflect the true market value of the property. And the reason, going back to my subject property sale back in 2021, the reason that I bolded this in red is because, as you can see, the original sale price of the subject property is from March 31st, 2021. And the city has time adjusted that to the reference date of the last cycle, which was April 1st, 2023. So that's basically two full years of time adjustments. And you can see that there hasn't been much market movement in terms of the dollar amount. There hasn't been much increase in terms of the assessment on the sale price. But I'm just suggesting that because last cycle's market movement has been so minimal, then my question is why should there be this time? So but then again, I can't really predict the market value in terms of 4 years of difference of time adjustments. So I'm just only suggesting that as a reference to you that the market is not moving quickly here, as well as my comparable sales show that the range should be within the $139 and $153, not and going beyond that rate would be not reflective of the market as of April 1st, 2025. And that's why I would like to conclude that my requested value should be $150 per square foot, which is total of $223,350 in total value. That concludes my presentation. Thank you very much, and I'm open to any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Santos, have you any questions?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. You had indicated that comparable one to have no MLS, is that correct?
That's correct.
Were you able to verify the condition at the time of sale?
No, I have not.
In comparable to, were you aware that the MLS indicated that the property needed some TLC, tender loving care?
No, I was not.
It also doesn't provide any interior photos. Were you able to determine the condition of the home at the time of sale?
This is a website that I've I found myself as a reference, and I can see that the rental website offers some photos of this property comparable, and I can see that conditions are much similar to the subject property in terms of by looking at the photos of the comparable sale. So I can tell you that I can say that the conditions are much similar to subject property, and that's why I've chosen this property as a comparable sale.
Okay, and when was that rental listing?
I see that it's by looking at the website, it's still active. I'm not sure when exactly it started listing the rents. I can see that it's still active on the website. It's called, I don't know if I'm allowed to see the rental website, but it's still.
You're referring to something you just found. That's clearly post reference, and it's
Oh,
not
wow.
going to be much assistance to us.
I see, sorry, my apologies for that. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that.
Were you also able to identify if the property had a secondary kitchen at the time of sale?
So can you repeat your question?
Were you also able to identify if the property had a secondary unit at the time of sale?
Are you referring to the subject property or the comparable?
The comparable
No, I
to.
will stop.
That is it for me, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rickson, any questions?
One minor thing. Sir, on your comparable number 4 on 804 Simcoe, is that a duplex property to the best of your knowledge?
No, I do not know. That's not, I'm not sure how to answer that question, but I think, yeah, I'm not sure about that.
You're not. Okay. Yeah, the reason I bring it up, it doesn't have any full baths, and it's only got it says 1/2 bath. So I'm not sure then that if it's a duplex, all these people would be sharing a 1/2 bath, either that or it's a single family home. And in the event that it's a single family home, perhaps it's not a very good comparable. That's my only comment and question.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Arnell, any questions?
No questions, thanks.
And I don't have any questions. No, I don't have any questions. Thank you. Mr. Santos, any summary?
I do not.
Mr. Allen, any summary?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Then, having heard the evidence, we will conclude this matter, and we will move on to the next matter. I understand you have a number of matters on the list.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to excuse you yet.
Before we proceed, can I get some water?
Yes. You need a few minutes, or?
No, I just need some water.
Okay, sure. Does anyone need a break before we continue?
I'm fine. Fine, thank you.
Thank you.
There's a lot of talking, so.
Then if we can turn to the next matter on the list, that is number 11 on the docket at street address of 185 Balmoral. And I understand that the amounts, or sorry, the issues on this one when it was filed were the assessed value, the classification, and the liability to taxation. But I believe that may be changing. But if you
Yes.
can introduce the property, please. I know because of classification and liability to taxation, request to change that, the onus would generally shift to you, Mr. Hahn. However, given the reports that I reviewed yesterday and this morning, I believe that it probably is easiest if we just have one party, you, Mr. Santos, introduce the property and provide the explanation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So subject roll number is 1209-117-3000. Street address is 185 Balmoral Street. It is a 2.5-story multifamily conversion, year built of 1902. Has a living area of 1,860 square feet with a full part area basement. It currently has no basement finish, 2 full bathrooms, no half bathrooms or showers. It has central air, no fireplace, and has a multiple car detached garage. It has an assessed lot size of 3,217 square feet with a commercial adjacent influence. Current assessment is $223,000 or $119.89 per square foot. So yes, I have been in discussion with Mr. Hahn for some time, but we have been waiting on his client and unfortunately they haven't come back. I've spoken to my supervisors and they were able to confirm that given the situation with the property right now, subject property right now, we can confirm the 2027 assessment at $223,000 and changing the classification and liability from residential 1 to institutional taxable school exempt.
And
That is my recommendation, sorry.
thank you. And Mr. Hahn, I've read your materials on this, but perhaps you could just give us your position with respect to the recommendation as provided by Mr. Santos.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So as Mr. Santos has mentioned that we were initially requesting the classification change and there was no contention on market value or the assessed value of the property. So if I may, if the board may allow me to accept the offer or the recommendation, then I would be happy to report it back to my client.
Okay, so the recommendation, as I understand it, he's seeking confirmation of the assessed value and the recommendation to change the liability and classification to school tax exempt from the residential classification that it has right now. And that's by agreement?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Mr. Rickson, do you have any questions on this?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Mr. Arnell?
No questions, thanks.
And I have no questions. I will ask for form's sake if there's any need for a summary, but I'm expecting that there isn't. Okay, thank you. Then having heard the evidence, we will conclude that matter and move on to the next matter, that being the street address at 146 River. Mr. Santos, I believe your recommendation on this, but if you could introduce the property, please, and provide your evidence.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So subject roll number is 120-319-44000. Street address is 146 River Avenue. It is a 1 3/4 story property, 1 3/4 story multifamily conversion property located in River Osborne neighborhood, built in 1896. It has a living area of 1,684 square feet with a full basement that is currently unfinished. It has 4 full bathrooms, no half baths or showers. It has no central air, it has no fireplace, and it has a garage, which is a single car detached. It has no in-ground pool or sunroom. It has an assessed lot size of 4,139 square feet with a land influence of a backlane, commercial adjacent, and medium traffic. I did discover that it seems like there was an error on my part. I did look at the map for the subject. It does not have a backlane influence. So if the panel and the applicant, of course, can disregard that influence, that would be wonderful. And currently assessed at $428,000 or $254.16 per square foot, with the last known purchase in January of 2018 for $345,000. And I did make a recommendation to Mr. Han regarding the reduction of assessment from $4 up to $410,000 or $243.47 per square foot. But I believe that they haven't gone back to their client, so I'm not sure if.
So Mr. Hahn, I see you nodding. Is that correct, that you haven't had a chance to find out if that assessment is acceptable or that valuation is acceptable?
So I did get a response back from the client actually, and we would just like to decline the offer and pursue further into the presentation, please.
Fair enough then, Mr. Santos, if you can please continue.
Thank you. Before I proceed with my comparables, I will address that the subject is in a commercially dense neighborhood, so I had to expand my search to other neighborhoods while still remaining in the same region as the subject. Now, this is shown in page 2 of my brief, showing the location of the subject and the comparable sales used. Now, comparables 1, 3, and 4 are all located in the Earl Grey neighborhood, while comparable 2 is located in the McMillan neighborhood. Comparable 1 and 2 are 1 3/4 story properties, whereas 3 and 4 are 2-story. All are multifamily conversion properties built between 1910 to 1914. The living area ranged from 1,248 square feet to 1,720 square feet. Comparable 2 is the only comparable with a full part area basement, while the rest have a full basement. Comparable 1 is the only comparable with no basement finish, while the rest do. Full bathrooms range from 1 to 3, half baths and number of showers range from 1 to 2. Comparables 4 is the only comparable with central AC. Comparable 2 is the only comparable with a fireplace. None of the comparables have a garage, in-ground pool, or a sunroom. The lot size range from 2,531 square feet to 3,608 square feet. All comparables have a backlane influence, with comparable 1 being on an internal corner lot as well as being commercial adjacent. Comparable 2 also has a commercial adjacent influence. The sales date range from August 19, 2024 to February 3, 2025, with a time adjusted sale price of $355,500 to $401,200, or $233.26 per square foot to $291 per square foot. And based on that, I believe that the assessment is supported, and I'm open to questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hahn. Questions for Mr. Santos?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Santos, would you agree that although the effective year built is an important factor in determining the value of the property, the actual year built is just as important? Would you agree on that?
Yes.
So just for context, the subject property is built in 1896, which is more than 130 years old, and all your comparable sales are newer when it comes to the actual year built. So I think that houses that are this old should be given more weightage to the actual age of the building, regardless of the effective year built that the city has applied to these properties, just for the purpose of considering the economic life of a property. Would you agree with me on that statement?
No, because it would also depend on I can't speak on behalf of how the quality of the year built or when the subject was built, but it would also depend on the type of level of finish that each of these comparable properties have been made and the type of work that was done. So it's hard to say.
Thank you. My next question is, would you agree that the finished basement, this is similar to the property that we've dealt before, that the finished basement would add value to a house? And if so, would you agree that because the comparable sales number 2, 3, and 4 have a fully or partially finished basement, and they should be adjusted downwards to reflect the true market value of our subject property? Would you agree with that?
Yes, I do, but it would also depend on the level of finish and how much finished basement there are.
Thank you. My next question is, would you agree that as our subject property has a side influence of medium traffic, that this would be a negative factor which brings down a property's value? I've noticed that all your comparable sales do not have this side influence. Therefore, there should be a downward adjustment to account for the difference between the subject property and your comparable properties. Do you agree with that?
Yes, but it would also be dependent on how other medium traffic influenced properties there are. Unfortunately, I was unable to find any multifamily conversion properties to see if medium traffic influence does have a significant or if any significant effect on the value on my property. So unfortunately, I can't answer that with certainty.
Thank you. And my last question is, out of 4 comparable sales that you've presented today, 3 of them are from the neighborhood of Earl Grey. Would you agree that it's much better to use comparable sales from the same neighborhood than using comparable sales from a different neighborhood?
Yes, I am aware, but as I mentioned initially in my brief, considering that the property is located in a commercially dense neighborhood, mostly apartments, I was unable to find, so I did the best of my abilities to look for properties as close to the subject. With respect to its characteristics, that would be comparable to the property.
Thank you. Those are my questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Mr. Arnell, any questions?
No questions, thanks.
Mr. Rickson?
Yes, I have a couple of things. The location of the property, I understand it's somewhat unique in that it's in a mostly commercial area. Would you acknowledge that the location closer to downtown may have a greater market appeal for people who just want to walk and avoid having to drive? Is that a fair question?
Yes, I would see that, but it would also, yes, it would depend on also the type of commercial properties there are in the neighborhood.
Yeah, but just being closer to downtown would be more desirable for some people who just choose to walk. So I understand there's limited sales evidence in that kind of a location. Would you, as an assessor, consider looking in a different area, perhaps Old St. Boniface, where there's multiple family conversions, where people can walk across the street to downtown and make it a very similar kind of a location? Is that something that you would consider?
Now that you put it that way, I should have, but unfortunately I did not. I stuck to the current region of the subject.
Okay. You've not inspected the subject property?
I have not, but I have asked Mr. Han if they were informed of any structural issues or concerns, and they were informed that they were not told of any.
I'm more inquisitive about the suite makeup. Do you have knowledge? Is it a duplex? Are they self-contained suites with private entrances, or is it a triplex, or do you know?
I have asked Mr. Han, and it seems like he is unaware as well of the makeup or configuration of the subject.
He doesn't know either. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. That's all my questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Just some clarification here. 146 River, and you've got 146 Stradbrook on your map. This is east of the Donald Street Bridge. Is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, thank you. I don't have anything further. Mr. Han, your evidence, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'll start with my brief from the first page, as similar to the previous presentation that I made. The first page is the cover page, and you know what? Instead of going through every single page on my brief, would the board be okay if I could just go through the page 11 of my brief where I can summarize what I found, including the comparable sales?
That's fine. And we've had an opportunity to read the evidence prior to today anyway. So if switching or skipping over to page 11 suits your presentation, then that's fine.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the subject property located on 146 River Avenue is in the neighborhood of River Osborne, and it is a 1.75 story building built in 1896. It has a living area of 1,684 square feet. It does not have a finished basement. And the lot size is assessed as 4,139 square feet. And I'll just go over the comparable sales that I found to compare with the subject property, starting with comparable number 1. It is located on 819 Macmillan Avenue. I believe, yes, Yes, assessor also have used. That, sorry, just give me 1 second, I just closed my brief by accident. Okay. Yes, he has used it as a comparable as well. So. My comparable number one is same type as the subject property. It is built, it's slightly newer than the subject property, built in 1910. It has a living area slightly bigger than the subject property, 1720 square feet. It does have a finished basement. And it is assessed, lot size is 3,608 square feet. There was a sale in 2025 February as at $400,000. Time adjusted to $401,200, which is $233.26 per square foot. Moving on to comparable number two is 131 Scott App Street. Please note that this is in the same neighborhood as the subject property, but I would like to point out that the property use code is, although the zoning is the same as the subject property, under the assessment website, the property is classified as a detached single dwelling. So I just want to point that out. But the reason that I've used this as a comparable is because, as the Mr. Santos has mentioned, there are not enough sales to compare those sales to the subject property. And the assessor would, Mr. Santos would agree on that, it's just not a big neighborhood that I can find lots of sales for. So that's why I've decided to use a slightly different property use code than subject property. Having said that, I think there should be adjustments to be made. I'll go over that after I go through all my comparable sales first. So comparable number three is also located on 112 Scott Street. It's in the neighborhood of River Osborne, same as the subject property. It is a two-story building built in 1895. And it has a living area of 1,356 square feet. It does not have a finished basement. And the assessed lot size is 3,303 square feet. And the sale was from November 2024 at $293,500. Time adjusted to $297,300, which is $219.25 per square foot. My last comparable is from the different neighborhood. It's in the neighborhood of Earl Grey. I believe the assessor also has same. Sorry, never mind. Sorry. So this property is located in the neighborhood of Earl Grey and is a two-story building built in 1911, and it has a living area of 1,588 square feet. It has a finished basement. The lot size is much bigger than the subject property, which is 6,017 square feet. And the sale was from 2023 April at $405,000, a time adjusted to $435,000, and which is $273.93 per square foot. So just to summarize, my sales range from $219.25 per square foot to $273.93 per square foot. And I believe that the subject property should be assessed at $220 per square $220 per square foot, and which is $370,000 in total. And the reason is because although there aren't enough sales to have an argument where I can prove that this property should be assessed at $220. I think that I don't have a study to back this up, but then the residential single dwellings tend to have a slightly higher price per square footage than those with residencies, residential multifamily conversion single dwellings. I think that's the reason that I've decided to use $220 compared to comparable number three, which is $219.25 per square foot. with the comparables 1 and 4 being different in a different neighborhood, and because they are not in the same neighborhood as subject property, I think it's fair to say that making adjustments to reflect the market value of the subject property would bring us to $220, would be a reasonable and amount to request for. That concludes my presentation, and I'll do any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Santos, questions?
Yes, I do. Now, you had noted comparable to 131 Scott Street. Now, did you review the MLS listing for the property?
I I believe so, but I don't recall having the records of it.
Okay. Now, are you aware that the property was sold in an as-is condition?
No.
So in regards to comparable 3, now I'm not sure if you mentioned the same thing coupling with comparable 2. Correct me if I'm wrong, you were aware that that the property is classified as a residential dwelling, like a single family dwelling. Now in comparable 4, is there an MLS listing for this property?
I'm not sure. I think it do, but I'm not sure. I can get back to you on this after presentation because I don't know exactly. Give me 1 second. No, I don't see it.
So you're unaware of it, the current condition of the home at the time of sale?
No.
And that is questions for me, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rickson, questions?
I have no questions, thank you.
Mr. Arnell, questions?
Just one, are you aware of any of the conditions of any of your comparables?
Yes, I do, based on the
ones you have listings for?
yes, for our subject property, I'm aware that it is well maintained, and I have not included those photos. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to include the photos that I found, but I'm aware that it is well maintained, and if the subject property and the comparables, I believe they are very similar in terms of the condition. If I 819, just please give me 1 second. Yes, I can get back to you on this after my presentation.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
That's not possible.
That's fine, thank you. That's all I had.
Thank you.
The subject property of 146 River, you've been inside it? You've inspected it?
No, I haven't.
Okay. And you haven't been inside of any of the comparable properties listed?
No, I have not.
Okay, thank you. I don't have anything further. Mr. Santos, any summary?
No, I do not, thank you.
Mr. Holland, any summary?
No.
Thank you. Then, having heard the evidence, we will conclude this matter. And we can move on to number 14 on the docket. And that is the street address of 540 Alno. Mr. Santos, your evidence, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Now, subject roll number is 0607-0251-000. Address is 540 Alno Street. It is a 2-story multifamily conversion property located in central St. Boniface, built in 1908. It has a living area of 2,243 square feet with a full basement that is currently unfinished. It has 3 full bathrooms, no half showers or bath. It has 3 full baths, 0 half showers, and 0 showers. It has no central AC, no fireplace, no garage, in-ground pool, or sunroom. It has an assessed lot size of 5,774 square feet, and it has a numerous land influence, and that is bus route, bus stop, commercial adjacent, external corner, and light traffic. And it currently has an assessment of $644,000 or $287.12 per square foot. Now, I have made a recommendation to the board and Mr. Han regarding a reduction to 610, or it's $271.96 per square foot, but it seems like there was no agreement. So I'm not sure if there was any changes, but when we spoke this afternoon, and it seems like there was.
Okay, then, Mr. Han, if there's no agreement, we'll proceed with, Mr. Santos's evidence. Okay.
Now, all comparables are located in the same neighborhood as the subject. All comparables are two-story multifamily conversion properties built between 1905 to 1911. The living areas range between 1,509 square feet to 2,812 square feet. Comparables 2 and 3 have a part basement, while comparable 1 and 4 have a full basement. Comparable 4 is the only comparable with a basement finish. Full baths range from 3 to 6, half baths and number of showers 0 to 1. Comparable 2 is the only comparable with central AC and a fireplace. Comparable 2 and 3 are the only comparables with a garage, which is a multi-car detached garage. None of the comparables have an in-ground or a sunroom. Now, the lot size range from 4,012 square feet to 6,378 square feet. Comparable 1 has the same influence as the subject, comparable 2 with a commercial adjacent influence, and comparable 3 has a bus route, commercial adjacent, and a light traffic influence. Now, the sale date ranges from April 19, 2023 to September 22 to 2023, with a time adjusted sale price of $420,000 to $606,600. Or $181.94 per square foot to $345.44 per square foot. Now, note that comparable 3 was indicated that the property is sold as is and needs some tender loving care, as well as being vacant at the time of sale, but it looks like between comparable 2 and 3, that will be reflected on the sale price. Now, based on the evidence I provided, I believe that the recommendation that I made is supported. Any questions?
Thank you. Mr. Han, questions?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Excuse me. Mr. Santos, would you agree that your comparable 4 has a finished basement, whereas the subject property does not have finished basement, and this should be adjusted downwards to reflect the difference?
Yes, and upon my review, yes, I did account for those differences, and I still believe that my recommendation supports the value.
Thank you. My next question is, would you agree that as a comparable number 4 is smaller than the subject property, there should be a downward adjustment, same for the comparable number 1, which is significantly smaller than the subject property?
Yes, and I have made that consideration as well.
Thank you. And my last question is, have you inspected this property?
The subject?
Yeah.
No, based on our conversation, it is assumed that it's structurally sound and that there are no issues or concerns that I should be aware of.
Because I have actually inspected this property, but the reason that I have not included my photos is because it took place the day after the brief submission. So I could not find possibly include those photos in my brief. But if the board may allow me to speak to the condition of the property.
You may speak to the condition of the property, but that would be evidence in your presentation
Right.
with respect to that. As far as seeing the photographs, that would be classified as late evidence, and we would have to consider whether that was something we were going to consider. So,
just a quick comment though, because I have inspected the property and comparable number 4, I could see the photos from the website. I think that 502 St. John Baptist Street is it's significantly in a far superior condition to the subject property, and I think it's not really comparable to the subject property. Would you agree with that?
No, I do not. I have also looked at the same MLS, and given the only changes appear to be the kitchen and the flooring, while the rest still are original, I believe that it would be comparable to a well-maintained, to the well-maintained subject. And it would not have a significant impact on the value of the property.
Those are all my questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Rickson, questions?
Yes, Mr. Santos, looking at the comparables, these are very old sales. Are you confident in your time adjustments? Can you support your time adjustments?
The time adjustments would also be involved of other residential properties, not just multifamily conversions. So yes, I would believe that based on our model, the time adjusted would probably be in an appropriate range.
With this kind of a property, is it not strange that there would not be any recent sales evidence? Your sales are going back so far. We've got a sale price on the first one of $385 and a proposed assessment of $644 down to $610. So I question how comparable that property could be. But okay, well, if you're confident and there's no more recent sales, I'll just accept that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Arnell, questions?
Just confirmation, when you're asked if you inspected the property, I didn't quite hear what you said. Was it inspected?
I did not inspect it. I have asked Mr. Han if they were informed of any issues or concerns with the property, and I was informed that there was none at our conversation.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Santos, the information with respect to the subject at 540 Allno, and that's on the corner of Rue de la Cathedral and Allno? Am I right about that?
I
don't have a map here. I'm just
yeah,
trying to
unfortunately.
go from my general knowledge of Old St. Boniface, but it's subject to, maybe I'll ask Mr. Helen that question later. The information with respect to the attached garages, detached garages, that comes from the city files or the city?
Yes, and I did review those properties as well. Now they are still present, but in terms of its shelf life or building life, I'm not sure if it would hold any value given when the property was built in respect to the garage.
Okay, and what led to your decision to make a recommendation reducing the assessed value?
I believe that it was out of range considering the comparables that I have seen, but with respect to comparable one, and with all the comparables that I've provided, I feel that 610 would be at the more appropriate range.
Okay. Thank you very much. Mr. Holland, your evidence, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'll just briefly go over my brief. First page includes the cover page. So if I could do the same process as going to page 11 of the brief, that's going to.
If that assists you in your presentation or all the information is there, then yes, and we will. I speak for myself, but I'm sure I speak for all the panel members that we had an opportunity to review it prior
Yes.
to you being here. So,
Thank you.
so please present as you wish.
So if you go on to page 11, you can see that I've prepared 4 comparable sales. And out of these 4 comparable sales, I was able to actually inspect 524 Allnew as well. Assessor has mentioned that at the time of the sale, the condition was not the same as current condition. I didn't recall what you were saying.
I believe that I'm speaking on behalf of
524 Allnew.
524 Allnew. Yes, to my understanding, based on the MLS, that the condition at the time of sale was there was only changes to the kitchen flooring and the kitchen cabinets, while other areas in the property such as the bedrooms and living room remain the same.
So continuing on my presentation, so the sale for, I'll just focus mainly on comparable number 2, just to give you a general sense of like to compare with the subject property, because I believe that because I've inspected both 524 Aldo and 540 Aldo Street, I can speak with confidence that 524 Aldo was even if you look at the MLS photos at the time of the sale, it's very similar to the current condition of the property, I believe. So and the subject property is built in 1908. And I'll just go over the subject property first and then go over with the comparable sales. The subject property located on 540 Aldo Street is in the central side, St. Boniface neighborhood. It's a 2-story building built in 1908. And it has a living area of 2,243 square feet. It does not have a finished basement. It has a lot size of 5,774 square feet. And it has some side influences of bus road and commercial adjacent and external corner, as well as light traffic. I've noted a subject sale, property sale, but this is, I have to point out that this was a private sale, and it's a very highly motivated sale because it the same street as where the subject property is located is actually on the other side of the street is the client's campus, where they are operating on different houses on the same street, and it's just very highly motivated in that sense that they had to purchase this property. And I believe that this is not a value sale that can be used to justify the market value of the property. So going on to comparable from 1 to 4, I'll just focus mainly on the comparable number 2, which I've inspected the property, and I can say that this property is in a much superior condition to the subject property, and it's sold for $555,000. And it's time adjusted to sale price, it's $181.94 per square foot. I believe that even though there's a difference in the living area size of approximately 500 square feet, if you apply the economies of scale between the two properties, I think that it shouldn't be more than $220 per square foot, because as of right now, it's assessed as $287 per square foot. I believe that is not appropriate in terms of when you consider the conditions and the sale of the comparable number 2. So I think that it is reasonable to request a value for $220 per square foot, which is $493,000. And I've to point out that I've made a typo on the first page, which on the second page, which requests $560,000. That is not my requested value. Please refer to page 11 of my brief, where it says $493,000 or $220 per square foot. That's my requested value. I apologize for the typo on my the second page of my brief. So I would just like to point out that just to emphasize one more time that comparable 2 is superior in condition to the subject property, and it's sold for $181 per square foot, whereas even though subject property is smaller in size, even applying the economies of scale would give you not more than $220 per square foot. That concludes my presentation, and I am open to any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Santos, questions?
Yes, I do. In regards to 524 Olno Street, you had indicated that you had inspected the property. How did you do that?
Sorry?
How did you inspect 5?
Oh, that's so I have to point out this is under the same client. So I was able to request at the last minute. I was trying my best to do this before the brief submission date, but it just didn't. I was running out of time that I couldn't arrange before the submission date.
Okay, so is it entirely possible that at the time of sale in relation to now, that the property or the current owner has improved the property? Since at the time of purchase.
You know what, I'm gonna have to go back to my photos and compare it with the MLS photos.
Okay,
But to the best of my knowledge, I'm not too sure if I saw any huge difference in terms of current condition and at the time of the sale condition. So I can't really speak to that.
because there was a recent sale, or there was a recent listing on online, I believe it's Zulik, it's another real estate listing where it shows the properties, but it doesn't show the condition of the bedrooms. So that's why I was concerned as to how you inspected the property. Now, in regards to comparable 3, now is there any MLS listings for this property?
That I'm not 100% sure. I can check that right now. I believe I have not. I was not able to find anything on the property. No, I was not able.
Now, were you able to determine the characteristics and the condition at the time of sale?
For this comparable.
Yes.
No.
That is it for me, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Arnell, questions?
Just confirmation on the requested assessment.
Yes.
What was your number?
493, sir. 493.
493. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Rickson?
You were muted, sir.
Sorry. I have no questions.
Okay. I have some questions. First of all, going back to comparable 3, Mr. Santos asked you about MLS, whether you had access to MLS or whether there was an MLS listing, and you indicated no. Where did you get the information about the sale price and the time adjusted square footage, the living area? Was that from the city's website?
That's correct. City
Okay.
sales book, yeah.
Okay. So again, his question, Mr. Santos' question concerning condition, that wasn't something that you could ascertain. Okay. I'm going back to your page 6 of 15. And this is hopefully going to help us or help me geographically place this residence. You have a pin. Are you on page 6?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have a pin and it looks like it's the corner of Olno and Avenue de la Cathédrale.
Yep.
That property is an irregular shape.
Oh,
Okay, and there appears to be a parking area between the residence on the left and there's another building on the right, back here onto the back lane. What building is that? Is that a garage?
you know what? I was able to inspect the whole property, but I was not aware. I'm not sure if this belongs to our client because as you can see, the boundaries are separated. But in terms of the structure, I'm not sure if I don't think it's a part of our subject property.
And I'm looking at the photograph immediately below it. Appears to be a parking lot connecting the two structures.
I'm not sure about that. I just
Okay, the land plan size is 5,774 square feet, or approximately 57 feet by 100 feet. That would be fairly standard residential size property. You don't know how deep these other properties are next to the immediately below the subject property? Just trying to ascertain if that structure, which looks like multiple garages, is actually part of that property or not.
That I don't know, I'm not certain to answer that question.
Okay, thank you. Then I don't have anything more. Mr. Santos, have you any summary?
I'd like to point out that again, the comparables used by Mr. Han, that their comparable 3 does not have any listing and therefore cannot identify the characteristics in the condition, as well as their comparable 2 that they've inspected the property post reference. And I believe that based on the evidence I have provided, that the current my current recommendation of 610 is supported. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. Any summary?
Thank you. I just want to point out that I get the assessor's point on the post reference inspection, but I think that because our subject property, I saw that it's not in a same condition as comparable 2. I think it's just like it's be only reasonable that the assessment should be lower to my requested value that reflects the current true condition of the property. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you. Then having heard the evidence, we will conclude this matter and move on to number 15. And I think that's the last matter on which you appear, Mr. Hunt. Is that?
That's correct.
Thank you. Then number 15 on the docket is street address 434 Assiniboine Avenue. And Mr. Santos, if you could please provide your evidence on this.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Subject roll number is 12097642300. It is located in Broadway, Assiniboine neighborhood. It is a 2.5-story multifamily conversion built in 1895. It has a living area of 3,776 square feet with a full basement. It has no basement finish, and it has 3 full bathrooms, 2 half bathrooms, and 3 showers. It has no central AC, no fireplace, a garage, no in-ground pool, or a sunroom. It has a lot size of 7,256 square feet with a land influence of a bus route and a medium traffic. The current assessment in question is $396,000 or $104,000.87 per square foot. Now again, before proceeding with the comparables, I will address that given the location of the subject, the comparables used are in a different neighborhood. This is shown in my page 2 of my brief. So as much as possible, I still try to stay within the same region and as close to the subject as possible with respect to its characteristics. Now, I'd like to point out as well that comparable 3 was previously a 2.5-story, but recent sale shows that to have been renovated to a full 3-story. But comparable 1, 2, and 4 are a multifamily conversion property built between 1900 to 1902. Now, the living area ranges between 2,384 square feet to 3,234 square feet. All comparables have a full basement. Comparable 4 is the only comparable with a basement finish. Comparables have full bath ranging from 2 to 4, while having no additional half bathrooms or showers. Similar to the subject, none of the comparables have central AC, a fireplace, garage, or an in-ground pool, and a sunroom. The lot size range from 4,497 square feet to 5,940 square feet. Comparables 1, 2, and 3 all have a commercial adjacent influence, while comparable 4 has no influence. The sales date range between October 27 of 2023 to February 18th of 2025. With a time adjusted sale price of $290,000 to $342,800 or $109.57 per square foot, or to $202.54 per square foot. And based on the evidence that I provided, I believe that the current assessment value is supported. I'm open to questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hahn, questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I do. Mr. Santos, would you agree that your comparable number 3, 187 Balmoral Street, has had significant improvements done to the property according to the permits website?
Yes, I do, and based on the selling price of the home, I believe that is reflected on that.
And you recognize that the effective year built is significantly newer than the subject property, and therefore it is, I think it's not really comparable to the subject property.
Yes, I do, but again, as I mentioned, that given the difference in quality reflects the current estimate versus the comparable sale price, or time adjusted sale price, sorry.
My next question is, would you agree that since all your comparables are smaller than the subject property, there should be a downward adjustment to reflect the economies of scale for our subject property?
Yes, but again, I believe that is based on the condition of the homes. I believe that it's reflective on the current assessment.
Thank you. And my last question is, would you agree that because you're comparable to 141 Spring Street has an effective year built that is 10 years newer than the subject property, therefore there should be some adjustments be made?
No, because that effective yearbook can be a little bit subjective. So in terms of quality, I don't have the expertise to be able to determine the dollar amount.
Thank you. Those are all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. O'Neill, questions?
No questions, thanks.
Mr. Rickson?
Have you inspected the subject property or any of these comparables?
The comparables, I have viewed all the MLS listings, and in terms of the subject, again, I've asked Mr. Han if they were informed of any issues or concerns, and I was informed that there wasn't any. So I'm assuming that the property is structurally sound and well maintained.
The location of the subject property, again, I understand that there's limited sales evidence for this kind of a property in this kind of a location, but what would your opinion be of the location as compared to the comparables with, recognizing that it's an easy walk to Broadway to office buildings? Would you consider that to be a positive?
Yes, I do, especially the subject is also close to the river. If you look very closely, the lot behind it and the another one that is the river, I believe the Red River.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, are all of these properties two-suite conversions?
There are a mix, comparable 1 and 2 have. Sorry, comparable 1 has 2 units, comparables 2 and comparable 2 has indicated to be 3 units. Comparable 3 is indicated to be a 4-plex, and then comparable 4 is also indicated to be a 4-plex, but that could also be a mixture of a rooming house where they have a shared kitchen where the tenants would have their own bedroom and bathroom.
Okay, then my question here then would be, and understanding that you're not doing an income approach or any comparison of rents, do you not feel that a 3-plex or a 4-plex could achieve a much higher rent than a duplex, and therefore attract a higher sale price in the marketplace?
That is possible, but it would also depend on the configuration and the amenities and utilities included with the rent.
Okay, as a function of a direct sales comparison, have you considered what's known as a gross rent multiplier?
I am not.
No, you have not? Okay. Is that not something that the assessment department does?
I believe not in our department, like we are aware of the procedure, but with limited information such as some of the MLS listings not indicating the rental amount, I wouldn't be able to have a certain answer for some of the.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Those are my questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I don't think I have any questions. Mr. Santos, Mr. Hahn, please, your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, if you could go to page 11 of my brief, I'll quickly cover subject properties details as well as the comparable sales that I've come up with. So, the subject property located on 434 Assini Point Avenue is in the neighborhood of Broadway, Assini Point. It is a 2.5-story building built in 1895. It has a living area of 3,776 square feet. It does not have a finished basement. And the assessed lot size is believed to be 7,256 square feet. And it has a zoning as D downtown living and side influence of crossroad and medium traffic. Going on to comparables that I've come up with, starting with comparable number 1. It is located on 97 Spence Street. It's in the neighborhood of West Broadway. It is same type as the subject property, built in 1901. It has a smaller living area than the subject property. It's 2,655 square feet. It has a finished basement. The lot size is 5,644 square feet. And you can see the sale data from the below. It is the sale was occurred on February 2025 at $209,000, which is time adjusted to $290,900, and that comes to $109.57 per square foot. Moving on to my comparable number 2 is 281 Lipton Street. It's in the neighborhood of St. Matthews. It is the same type as the subject property, built in 1906. It has a slightly smaller living area than the subject property, which is 3,284 square feet. And the assessed lot size is 2,829 square feet. There was a sale in 2023 July at $318,000. Time adjusted to $339,600. This is equal to $103.41 per square foot. Moving on to my next comparable, which is 73 Spence Street. It's in the neighborhood of West Broadway. And the same type as the subject property, and it's built in 1904. And it has the living area of 2,424 square feet. And it has a lot size of 5,490 square feet. The sale was from July 2023 at $240,000, time adjusted to $256,300, which is $105.73 per square foot. My last comparable is located on 523 Yonge Street, which is in the neighborhood of Spence. It is the same type as the subject property and built in 1905. The living area is 2,448 square feet. It does not have a finished basement. The lot size is 4,536 square feet. The sale was from February 2023 at $240,000, time adjusted to $262,300, which is $107.15 per square foot. So as you can see, my comparables range from $103.41 to $109.57 per square foot. Considering that the adjustments be made to account for the living area difference between our subject property and the comparable sales, I think there should have been some adjustments to downward adjustments to apply there, which I believe it comes down to $95 per square foot. In total of $360,000, I think would be the appropriate value to account for our subject property today. That concludes my presentation. Thank you, and I'm open to questions.
Thank you, Mr. Santos. Your questions?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Now, comparable 2, you have noted that it is located in the St. Matthews area. Were you unable to find any sales closer to the subject?
Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, this was what I could find on the that's from Salesbook and also the MLS. I was not able to find anything that's closer than this.
Did you review the market between the comparable two and guessing and how it would compare maybe to the subject? Is there any adjustments for those?
In terms of the neighborhood difference, I'm not sure because I have assumed that these two neighborhoods are comparable to one another, so I've not applied any adjustments in that manner.
No, comparables 3 and 4. You had provided this. Was this a city from the city books or was there an MLS?
I believe I found them from the city sales book because I was not able to find them on the MLS, I believe, but let me confirm that. No, yeah, I only found them from the sales book.
So you were unable to identify the current condition or the condition of the town sale?
No,
Well, that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rickson, questions?
Yes. This building being approximately 130 years old and in a somewhat unique location for that kind of a property, has any consideration been given to highest and best use for the subject?
give me 1 second.
My point being, there has been some new construction of multiple family properties along Assiniboine, so.
I believe I can speak to this as I'm not an expert to highest and best use analysis. But I believe since our subject property is classified as residential multifamily conversion, meaning that it has more than one unit under this property. I think that like you mentioned that there's a lot of multifamily developments happening in the area. I think that as is right now is would be its highest and best use, but I can't really confirm that with you as I'm not the expert in this, but that's my opinion on that. So as improved as right now is would be the right highest and best use in my opinion, but that's not my expertise.
Okay, Mr. Chair, would it be appropriate if I was to ask the assessor the same question at this point?
If that, yes, I think we may as well explore that. Sure.
Would you like me to go over that?
Oh, no, I think with limited information from Mr. Han, but based on the characteristics, there is a possibility that it could be used as a rooming house, maybe even an apartment, given the location of the subject. I believe that the subject neighborhood is surrounded with apartments, so there is a possibility that it could be used as a apartment. But again, that is just a matter of opinion.
Okay, so I'm back to
You're back to
The applicant.
Mr. Han now.
Mr. Han. This is a very, very large property. Is it can you tell me the suite makeup for this property?
Unfortunately, I don't have that information with me.
So you don't know if it's a duplex or a rooming house or?
I know it's the more than one unit for sure, and let me just because our subject property has 2 bedrooms, I believe.
3,700 square feet and it's only got 2 bedrooms. Wow. All right. Well, we'll just have to assume then we'll just have to make some assumptions here. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Arnell, questions?
They've all been answered, thanks.
I have some questions on the same line of questioning that Mr. Rickson had. The subject property is a multi-family conversion, correct?
Correct.
Right. Okay, all of your comparables, however, are residential two-family. That's correct?
Correct.
Okay, so implying that there's more than two, or there's a difference at least in the characterization in the city, okay? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. The comparables that you've chosen, I'm assuming that you're satisfied that they accurately reflect the comparable sales prices that can be used to influence the price of the assessed property, right? Okay, now and you would believe, of course, that they're similar enough to allow for a reasonable sales price comparison, right?
Right.
Okay. The fact that it's a multi-family conversion versus a two-family conversion doesn't make a difference in your mind, or does it?
The reason I chose these comparable sales is because they're all under the same property use code as residential multi-family conversion, and I thought that it's because they're under the same property use codes, I believe they're good to be compared with the subject property. But in terms of, to answer your question on zoning, I do see that they are residential two-family versus our subject property being downtown living. Those zoning classifications are different, but in terms of the property use codes, because they're under the same property use codes, I believe that they are comparable enough to be used as to compare with the subject property. That was just my opinion.
Okay, fair enough. Now, the sales chart, I'm looking at your page 11 here. The first sentence after the chart indicates the sales chart indicates an average of $100.78 per square foot and a median of $98.53 per square foot, right? That's the sale price and the average and median as of the time of sale.
Right.
That's not time adjusted, is it? Because if you use the time adjusted sale price, you get over $106 a square foot.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Which is higher, in fact, than the assessed value of $104 a square foot.
So I get your point. That was my mistake. The reason I chose a lower number than and that was my mistake on the choosing rather than choosing time adjusted sale price over original sale price. I should have used time adjusted sale price. But because as you can see from my chart here, my comparables are significantly smaller than the subject property, and also because my property subject property is the biggest here in the out of all the comparables. I have just applied that it should be lower in terms of the price per square footage for a house that's this big, and that's one of the reasons. And also, as you can see from comparable number 1, it has a finished basement, whereas our subject property does not have a finished basement. I just implied that there should be some kind of adjustment to be made, which I believe that $95 per square foot would be the right and appropriate amount to apply for our subject property.
And how did you come up with $95? You told us what thoughts went into it, but mathematically, how do you reduce it from the time adjusted sale of $106 a square foot to now $95 a square foot?
So rather than using quantitative adjustments, I actually used just it could be subjective that I used the qualitative adjustments on this on the value of the property. I did not quantify exactly mathematically speaking in terms of coming up with the $95 per square foot. I just thought that qualitatively speaking, applying this rate would be the right amount to apply for our subject property. And I don't have a mathematical equation for that specific question that you've asked.
Okay, fair enough. I don't have anything further. Thank you. Mr. Santos, any summary?
Well, just like to point out again that comparables 3 and 4 that Mr. Hahn had provided don't have a listing, therefore we can't identify the current condition of the home. And even if we try to quantify it without knowing what the property looks like or himself as well, we can't conclude that the present value is there, and I believe that based on my presentation that the value is supported. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Holland, any summary?
Yes, so as Mr. Santos has mentioned that even though I couldn't verify the conditions of the comparable properties, I think because it's still our subject is the oldest out of all the comparable sales that I've presented today, and also it's the biggest living area out of the comparable sales I presented. I think applying keeping those in mind, I think applying $95 per square foot would be the right reasonable range to request for. Thank you.
Thank you. Then, having heard the evidence, we will conclude this matter. And I believe that concludes all of the matters that you have today with us, Mr. Allen. Thank you very much for the presentation. We have one more matter after this on which there is no applicant, as I understand.
Correct, Mr. Chair.
So we can allow Mr. Hahn a minute or two to leave, or you can stay and watch if you'd like, or we can finish. Does anyone need a break before we do the last property, or can we just go ahead and have our break
I'm good.
after that?
I'm fine.
Okay,
I'm good to proceed, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you. very much.
thank you. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Excuse me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hahn.
Take care.
And the last matter on the list today is that ad number 1, street address is 442 Vanatime. I note that there is no applicant present and there has been no evidence submitted by the applicant. Just to confirm, finally, Mr. Mohan, we haven't received any messages, late messages or anything from the applicant?
Correct, Mr. Chair. Nothing, no applicant in the Zoom, nor the waiting room on site, nor communication via email has been received.
Thank you. Then, Mr. Santos, would you please proceed with your evidence on the street address of 442 Vanatime?
And just for clarification, Mr. Chair, would you also like me to present the comparable sales use or just the subject?
I think a summary of the comparable sales is probably good so that we can make an informed decision on the matter.
Thank you. Subject roll number is 1306-121-1000. It is located in West Alexander neighborhood. It is a 2.5-story multifamily conversion property built in 1901 with a living area of 2,027 square feet. Currently has a full basement with a basement finish. It has 2 full bathrooms, no half baths or showers, no central AC or fireplace, no garage, no in-ground pool, and no sunroom. The assessed lot size is 1,658 square feet with a land influence of commercial adjacent, external corner lot, and a medium traffic. The current assessment is $165,000 or $81.40 per square foot. The comparables used are also located in the West Alexander neighborhood. All are 2.5-story multifamily conversion properties built between 1903 to 1907. They have a living area range of 1,429 square feet to 2,447 square feet. Comparable 1 is the only comparable with a full part area basement, while the rest have a full basement. Comparable 3 is the only comparable with a basement finish. Full baths range from 2 to 3, half baths and number of showers 0 to 1, And comparables 3 is the only comparable with the central AC, and none have a fireplace. Comparable 4 is the only comparable with a garage, which is a single car detached. None of the comparables have an in-ground pool or a sunroom. The lot size range from 1,547 square feet to 5,604 square feet. Comparable 1 has a commercial adjacent influence. Comparable 2 has no influence. Comparable 3 has a commercial adjacent and school influence. And comparable 4 is an external corner lot with a medium traffic. The sales date range from October 31st to October 31st, 2022 to December 2024, with a time adjusted sale price ranging from $164,400 to $253,200, or $67.18 per square foot to $116.31 per square foot. I did attempt to contact the owner via phone call. He did accept, but he requested to be emailed online, or emailed, but I attempted, but no contact has been made. So the current condition of the home is undetermined, and it is assumed that it is well maintained and no structural issues or concerns. I'm open to questions, and based on the evidence I provided, the current assessment is supported. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rickson, questions?
My question, are these all two suite conversions to the best of your knowledge?
Some of them are rooming houses, such as comparable 2 and 4, but comparables 1 and 3 are both 2-unit properties.
So they're two of them are rooming houses. Do you think that's a fair comparison when you consider the amount of management that's involved in a rooming house? Different kind of property. Do you agree?
Yes, that is possible.
Okay. All right. I think that's all my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Arnell, questions?
No questions, thanks.
And I don't have any questions. Any summary, Mr. Santos?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Then, having heard the evidence, we will conclude this matter, and we have now heard evidence on every matter on the list. And since the docket is completed, we will adjourn this hearing. Thank you very much for your time.